So yeah, man, we got Dreamscom coming
Mm.
in.
A
Coming in a
lot
few.
sooner than I expected as well. Like when they announced that date, it was like only a week away.
Yeah, is it good to do it during the San Diego Comic Con time? Because San Diego Comic Con is technically already started, but it starts like tomorrow. Is like or today is the main day, and it's gonna be going for quite some time. I feel like everything's.
How long does that show go on for then? Not normally like expos are 2 or 3 days, right? Like how long are you expecting San Diego Comic Con to run for?
I expect it to run for the next 3 days, and then the news that comes for it or from it to be dominating for the next week, and just about every social platform.
Yeah, but you see, I think Media Molecule's in a special position where none of that really matters because this is
Well,
purely for the community, and that's all they really care who sees it. I mean, you're gonna have all of the standardized people covering it anyway, like Push Square and the PlayStation blog and everything. All of those normal platforms are gonna be doing articles about it and everything anyway.
well,
So
no. As far as the like community, no, I don't think that bothers it at all. It's more so outside of the community, as in, I mean, it's advertising.
it's
As
advertising, yeah,
so,
but I
so
don't
I
know.
mean, it's not going to bother the community at all. But as far as like getting a foothold outside of the community, I it came to mind when I saw them, be like, we're going live in a few
Mm,
days. I'm like, awesome. And then I was like, what else? Wait, San Diego Comic Con. And
mm.
it just crossed my mind. Just a thought. Just a thought. I'm gonna
I
tell
don't
you
think it
something.
really matters.
I'm gonna tell you something. I am even without the sun hitting me, I am turning a new shade of black in this room right now because get this new level of cursedom that's going on in my house right now. So not only are we preparing to move,
Hmm.
but for some reason over the last month, I've been quiet about this, but over the last month, some reason all the power just goes out, like the breaker flips randomly.
Wow.
Now,
Okay. Well, you've been
j-
very lucky with the podcast timings then.
yes, and I've been stressed out the whole time, wondering whether or not it's gonna flip out. But like we've tied it to there's something about me being like basically the way they wired this place is special. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
It's very special because they basically connected my roommate's room, the kitchen to the same circuit.
Mm.
So basically, it wasn't a problem, but just recently it's been it
Have you changed anything? Like, have you got any new appliances that are heavy wattage or anything? Or
no, we've
still?
buckled it all down, and I think what it is that the grid that it's all on, attached to the other apartments. Thank God we're getting a
Mm,
house. But to all the other apartments, I think it's just been so hot that with everybody running their ACs and stuff,
mm.
it's just like even though they're on different circuits technically, I think there's just a constant like uh hadron collider of energy going around this apartment complex. And it's just like it chooses like a petty god when it's going to be like, nope, you're done. That's you get the L right now. But man, it's been
Has
crazy.
it has it gone like at really inconvenient times, like when you're rendering something or
Super inconvenient times. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been playing my PlayStation 5 for quite some time now because it happened twice while I was playing PlayStation.
yeah, and with your
And,
luck with consoles,
exactly.
you don't want to test your chances.
Exactly. I was like, I am not going to turn on this fucking PlayStation, excuse my language, and have it like keep getting cut off by this power outage and then yeah, things
Go
just
through
go
the
wrong.
whole, we're repairing your console. Please bear with us.
Yeah, dude, I've seen it twice and it scared me to death each time. Get like you
Yep.
said, given my history. What's going on, Tap? What's going on, Ninja? No, not the Vin Diesel movie, though I do think it's funny that he chose that title. Hey, it's Daryl. What's going on? What's going on? We're gonna get started here in just under a minute. We're just giving people time to jump in while we talk about random things like the unfortunate nature of my life, and yeah, we'll be started soon, but hopefully no one's bored yet. Well, we're well while I'm explaining how everything could go wrong, and I give this disclaimer now: if if at some point the show just turns out, like just goes out for a second, now you know why, because of this power grid issue. We'll be back up in like 3 minutes, so stick with us.
Is it instantaneous, like it goes off and then it instantly comes back on, or is it like
No,
down for a while?
no, it goes off, and then we have to basically,
Oh,
um,
you have to literally go to the breaker and
yeah, go
reboot
to the
that.
breaker,
Right.
turn it on, and then reboot my computer and do all this stuff. So anyway, have you seen that Pitch Black trailer though? Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I told y'all. I tried to tell y'all he was coming with the hotness, but nobody was listening to me. But now y'all know. Now y'all know the hype master himself is here. So we're gonna talk about that. Jesus Christ, we're gonna talk about your your promotion. But let's
My
go ahead.
methods, yeah.
Yeah, your methods. Let's go ahead and get to the party. Jesus. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Welcome, everybody, to episode 86 of the Made in Dreams podcast, where we are here with my co host and guest, Jammy
Mhm.
James, aka King James, aka the doer of too much, and RageBot 3000. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. Stressful week, but it's finally over. So yeah, I'm all
Now,
right.
now, if we're going to be completely honest, you gave me a little pushback regarding this episode being completely about you.
Hey,
But
I don't want it to be completely about me.
it's,
There's other
I,
stuff to talk about.
I mean, we'll have open discussion, but at episode 86, it's about time. Okay, it's
All right.
about time that we talk about you and not just, we'll get to the open banter. We'll, the things
Mm.
that make people, love and hate us, and all that. But I want to talk about you, and a lot of it is due to the fact that yeah, you just dropped some stuff yesterday, and
I did.
I need to talk to you about it, if you don't
All right.
mind.
Let's
Okay,
do it. Let's
okay.
jump right in.
So before we, but well, not right in, because per usual with guests, and you can't skip the process. I want to start with a breakdown.
I get no special treatment because,
No,
like, no. I'm
none.
I've got to go through the same process. All right. Okay.
Exactly. So I want to start per usual with a breakdown of your life. I want your credit card numbers. I want your social security. What brought you, and eventually I want you to get to what brought you to Dreams and what your life has been since. Walk us through it.
All right. So I have always been into creating stuff, and it's just always been a passion of mine. Uh, Anything really, film, like little shorts, music. It's just I just love the idea of making something from nothing and calling it yours and saying I made this. This is mine. Like, years and years ago now when I was a kid, I used to make little stop motion videos with Lego characters and stuff. I used to get like a camera and I'd take the pictures and move them slightly, then put them into Windows Movie Maker and make like little short films and stuff. Um, And like with music, that started with a game actually called Music 2000 on the PlayStation 1. So it's basically a digital door for PlayStation. And that was my like entry into music creation. So I tried that out, and I loved the idea of being able to just make music from nothing. That was great. And that just really kick-started the whole creativity process. And just as I grew older, I just got into more stuff, like, creating videos and tried out YouTube for a bit years ago. That didn't really work out though. It's a lot of work. Um, I just love media, and I love creating media, whether that's music, photos, film, doesn't matter. I just love the idea of creating something, coming up with an idea and making it something that others can experience and enjoy.
I didn't hear any credit card numbers or anything in there. I'm just
Well, if I
okay.
give, I could give you them, but there's nothing on them, so you're not going to get very far with them. But fast forwarding like a long time, like I started to evolve with the music process. I started using Logic and taking music a bit more seriously. Created an album of like electronic music, going all through the different genres. Made some trap music, EDM, dance music. Was in a time of my life where I really enjoyed that kind of stuff. So I made an album of that, whipped that out on SoundCloud, and I'm a very much a person that does something and then moves on. So like, I'll do video production for a long time, and like I did a load of promotional material for a couple of small businesses, and then I got bored of that. I was like, right, I want to move on to something else now. So then I decided I'm going to make an album. So, developed a full album and put that out on SoundCloud, and once that was done, I've never went back. I was like, right, okay, moving on to the next thing. So I tend to do that a lot. I'm a very much a project person. I get onto a project, I'm absolutely infatuated with it. Once it's done, crack on to the next thing, never look back. So yeah, I've done that pretty much all my life, really, just doing lots of different stuff in media. And then Dreams came along and changed everything because as I said, like with the music production side of things, I started with Music 2000 on the PlayStation 1, and back then I was just absolutely amazed that something like that was possible on a console. So then when Dreams come along, and it was like everything that I've attempted to do in my life is now available collectively in one piece of software, and again, it's on a PlayStation. It just blew my mind. It just took me way back to those Music 2000 days of, making all my little MIDI songs and stuff on the PlayStation, and now being able to do that in a more professional manner with, competent tools. And yeah, it just changed everything. The community side of things just blew up and became a part of that. Started this podcast. And yeah, that's pretty much where it brought me to. And I haven't necessarily made anything tangible on Dreams, even though I've been in it since the early access. And obviously, we started Lucid Nebula Studios with Deeno and went through the whole learning process of what it's like to manage a team of people working on a project. And I just thought it was time for me to do something myself. And so I just thought, like, what do I want to create? And before Pitch Black, actually, I was developing something else completely different. I was creating like a first-person walking sim, and that was again to learn the logic of dreams because that was the challenge that I set myself because it's something that I'm not necessarily good at. And I thought, well, if I'm going to try something, I'm going to try the worst part first. And that was going well for a while, and then just out of the blue, I got bored of it. I was just like, I don't like creating. I don't like sculpting. It's just not me. And because I'm too much of an attention person, like if I can't make it the way I want and it doesn't look right, I'm going to get really annoyed with it. And I just can't. I just can't deal with the sculpting. 'Cause it's like I will spend like 6 hours on this tiny little detail because it's not looking the way that I want it to look. And I'm just not an experienced enough sculptor to be able to make the vision that I can see in my head. And if I can't make it the way I see it, it's just angers me. So.
We're gonna get back to that. We are going to get back to that concept because, yeah, we'll get there. So let's. You kind of went into where I wanted to go there with like, your new Tap James skin that you've been wearing. But do you want to let the viewers and listeners partake in the trailer before speaking more about the project and how it
Yeah,
came?
of course. Yeah, let's show the trailer and then we'll go deep dive into that.
All right. Well, everybody, here we go.
can you hear me? Oh, thank God. Okay, just try to stay calm. Just breathe, okay? Breathe.
Okay. Calm down. Don't panic. You've been in a cryo chamber. Being awoken early has some side effects, including speech problems sometimes, but they'll pass, alright? You're on board the SC Arcadian. Your ship is way off course and somehow lost its main power 5 years ago. I need your help to get everything back online. Can you do that for me? Can you hear that? Something is up there.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, everyone. I literally I showed the trailer, but I don't know if you wanted me to show the gameplay. Like, did you want me to show the full?
No, I'm the guest this time. This is all you. Whatever you want to do.
Well, this is what we'll do. That's the trailer. We'll get to the gameplay and show the full
I
trailer.
think we're muted.
No, we were.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We were, but basically, gonna look so good on my OLED. Yes, and it's gonna be the greatest visuals ever.
It really is.
But we'll show that again a little bit later with the actual breakdown of the gameplay. But I do want to I do want you to talk about it a little bit more. I guess give us the pre-rundown or the
So
now that they've seen.
Yeah, let me explain it for people that obviously haven't seen the trailer, or for those that are listening on audio. So Pitch Black is an audio sensory thriller. So there is literally zero visuals to the game at all. It's played completely in the dark, and you have to rely on sound to be able to move around. So it's completely audio based only. And the reason for that is because, as I said earlier, I was making this walking sim to learn the logic and stuff, and with sculpting and things, it's just not me. I was getting too stuck with the details, and I thought, right, I need to move away from this because I'm spending far too much time trying to perfect something before I've even learned how to make what I want to make. So I sat thinking, like, what can I do that I know I'm proficient at? And I thought, well, music is always the one thing that I've been comfortable with. I've had a lot of experience with it, although I'm not professional, but I'm comfortable with that genre of things. So I thought, okay, well, let's make something with sound. Like, I'm good at sound design. I've made music before, and I wanted to make something that was completely based on sound alone. So I went through some ideas of doing another walking sim that was like, reactive to sound. When you stepped on things, it would change the music and stuff. But I thought, again, I'm going to get stuck in those details. So I thought, right, okay, let's just take visuals away from the concept altogether. What can I make that has literally no visuals at all? And then I started thinking about it being in the dark and stuff, and I thought, okay, well, this is moving somewhere. So then the idea just sort of sprung together of doing a game where you're literally blind, you can't see, and just using the controller as a way of triggering different sounds and using those sounds with the invention of your imagination to be able to guide you where you need to go. And then it just snowballed from there. Started writing a script, come up with the idea and the story, and then we got to where we are now with Pitch Black.
So we had a question from Tap Giles. He says, "Was the trailer completely made in Dreams?"
Everything that you heard is made in Dreams, but the visuals with like the lines and stuff and the logo that was all made off of Dreams. But all the audio that you heard is all Dreams,
as well as the gameplay that you'll see a little bit
and
later.
of course, all that gameplay is in game real time. Yeah, all that is raw video.
We're not pulling any E3 specials. No. Going.
There's no CGI trailers.
Yeah, this is an Anthem 2. Okay, so I mean, so you were saying that you did this, but I believe when you told me about the inception of this idea, it was just a it was kind of like a epiphany moment, just like, I want to do this. I want to work on it. Talk a little bit more about the frustration that comes with not being proficient at certain elements in dreams, because this is something I struggle with
Mm. Mm.
completely. Like, I'm not, I consider myself to be a good sculptor, even though I'm much in your house of, people haven't seen a lot of what I can do. But a lot of that comes from me being like, I can't present it in the way that I want to present it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, like, I mean, this definitely is curved towards what you love, which is sound,
Yeah.
and being able to master that stuff down. But like, talk more about the logic, your journey with the logic.
Yeah. So, as I said, my Logic journey started with the previous title that I was working on, which was like the walking sim. And I challenged myself to go through Logic head on. Like, I don't want to watch any tutorials. I don't want to ask for help. Not that I don't need it. I really do. But I tend to learn best just going straight into it and just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And a lot of stuff failed at first, but definitely having that first person walking sim really helped to get sort of the basics down, because you was able to see when things was failing because there was visuals. So that helped me to really learn the logic that I needed. And at first it was very frustrating, but I work in IT, so I'm used to seeing how, logic processing works in traditional programs and stuff, and being able to troubleshoot. So again, that sort of falls into what I know. So I was able to troubleshoot my issues and try and just working out what works. And you just have epiphany moments, like I was using a selector to try and make this puzzle where you had to turn on 4 switches to make a door open, for instance. And the selector wasn't working, and then all of a sudden I just randomly thought I'll just try a counter, stacked that counter on, and all of a sudden it worked, and it was just like the best moment ever because I figured out how to do it myself. And
Yeah, the eureka.
that gave me the gratification that I figured it out. Like, if I would have YouTubed how to do it, it just would have made me feel stupid. Like, all this time I should have just been using a counter. Do you know what I mean? But
No,
because I took the time to figure it out myself, that gave me the determination to keep going with the logic. So that's the only way I can learn, is by pushing myself forward and doing it myself.
dope.
But moving into Pitch Black, the logic got a lot more complex very quickly, because the whole game is logic. There's no visuals. There's no physical character that's like walking around in this space that you can't see. It is literally all programmed. So how the game works is, when you're walking, you do so many steps before it will trigger an event. So everything is linear and preordained with Pitch Black. There's no sort of open world or anything like that. Everything is completely preordained. It's the way that it needs to be for me to be able to develop it. But I like that because it gives me more control. So I'm able to determine what reaction happens when and how to trigger different events in the game. But a lot of thought and effort had to go into how to make that work, because when you're working with like a physical character on screen, I found that my options was more open with how I could approach how to do something. But with this, because there's literally no visuals and everything is based on the logic, a lot more thought had to go into the process of how everything works. But that's where things like counters and things came into effect. They're like my gold mine now. I can just use those to count up the footsteps to trigger an event like a door opening or something. Um, but yeah, the logic has really advanced in my field with Pitch Black. That's really pushed it forward. And for what I want to do with Pitch Black, I've pretty much mastered all of the logic that I need. So now it's just a point of doing the rest of the script and putting pieces of logic where it needs to go. But yeah, it's been a real learning opportunity, and moving forward, I intend to use logic more in more challenging ways. But this is going to be a big enough challenge to try and get this out with the amount that's in it. It's just triggering stuff as well. Like, I don't know how to explain it because I'm not a logician, but you trigger an event in Pitch Black, and then you need all this other logic to turn on, but you can't have it turn on until this is done and this type of thing's done first, and they need to walk through this door first, and then this cutscene needs to play, this audio clip needs to play, then everything needs to turn off, and this section needs to turn on. There's just so much moving around with the logic that you need to do, and then it looks messy. So then you need to go back and tidy it all up, and then like now, I found that a lot of the logic that I've done in the beginning of Pitch Black is so messy compared to how sort of it is now, like moving forward, like it's so much cleaner. Like I'm using probably 7 or 8 different gadgets in the beginning to do the same thing that I'm doing now with 2. So like I'm learning how to shorten down the amount of tools that's needed and just slowly learning how to make the most of a small amount of logic. So it's getting a lot more streamlined as it goes along, and that's good. It's all part of the learning process. So
Well, I love Tap's energy about this process. As I'm watching him in chat, like I was wondering, like I've seen the background, like I've seen the project with my own
Hmm.
eyes now. I feel privileged, um, and so I know you didn't have a hidden world. But if you had to do it again, would you do it with a hidden world? Would that be more like, would that be simpler? Even if it was just like a blue puppet in corridors moving, do you think
Hmm.
that would be simpler than what you've created now in
Um,
retrospect?
no, I don't think it would be, because
Hmm.
again, I have more control with the way that things is done, like with the footsteps, because you use L2 to move your left foot and the R2 to move your right foot. You know, that's all controllable and countable without having a physical puppet that could glitch at any time, or like get stuck on something, because I'm terrible at placing stuff and building worlds and things. It's easy for a character to just clip into something. With this, because there's none of that, and it's purely just logic triggering different sound events combined all together to give the illusion of a world. Everything is more refined, and I have more control. And the more control I have, the easier it is to manage. So, no, I don't think I would.
Word, word. Well, so Tap says, yeah, it sounds like he's going for a fine control over the experience. And yeah, yeah, that that's Jammy style
It
as
is.
well.
It's a,
You know,
yeah.
it goes into kind of that other topic you brought up earlier that I do want to go into. But Ninja says players can't get stuck somewhere if Jammy controls it with all logic. Yeah.
And
Uh,
that's another thing you see is it needs to be controlled, because where there's no visuals, like if a player gets lost, you're going to be lost forever. You're not going to be able to find your way around. So the way that it's designed is so that it would be very difficult for you to get lost in pitch black. You technically could. There's still the possibility that you could get lost, but with it being completely logic based, there is very little chance for you to get lost in a corridor or take a wrong turn, because the way that the logic is designed is to control that risk so that the gameplay moves smoothly.
awesome. Awesome. I I kind of really want to get into the I guess because we've talked about what got you here, your history leading into dreams, what lead like your love of sound, music, going into how you created this, and talking about what you aren't as good at. And I kind of want to wrap that all back around to what we learned, but with what we learned working on Deeno.
Mm.
And because we have this brand new project you're working on and it's fantastic, it's going to add to just your capabilities within dreams. But I still get messages from people asking like, so what's going on with Dino? So do you want to start out, or do you want me to lead out, like kind of set up where we are?
Yeah, if you set up, I'm more than happy to talk about it. So,
Okay. All right. So where we are with Dino and how I say this plays into the what you're not good at, and or what we're not good at, and moving forward, is that Dino, in my opinion, cannot be pulled off to the fidelity that I think we need within
oh yeah,
dreams.
yeah, yeah.
And when I say that, I mean dreams within our capabilities, as opposed to how daunting of a story it would be to tell even with people. And so where we are with Dino is turning it into a complete film strip or film script. Excuse
Script.
me, script. My mind. Um, and zero compromises. No trying to work around the dreams limitations or anything like that. It's kind of going the same route as Pitch Black, where it's like this thing is grander than what's possible with what we have in dreams. And for that reason, it's kind of not going to be, um, at least in its final form, it's not going to be for dreams. It's going to go beyond. More so is something that maybe we want to push in another
Hmm.
or in another medium arena. Um, so that's the setup. Your time. What do you want to
So,
say?
like, yeah, when we first started the Deeno project, it started off small scale. Like, we just wanted to make this little game about this robot and his journey, and then more people came on with all their ideas and all of the things that they would like to add into it, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and grander in scale, and yeah, it just became this absolutely huge project, and it can't be anything less than that now because that's what Dino's become. It's become this grand scale project, and to do it any smaller than what it's been envisioned for now would be doing it injustice. Um, and we just don't have the capability to pull that off in Dreams, unfortunately. We would need a team of like 20, 30 people working on it full time to be able to pull it off to the standard that we know Dino deserves.
Eh,
And
eh,
obviously, it's just not possible.
yeah, it's not possible. Not without not without basically being able to pay all those people.
Yeah, yeah, we would need
Because
a huge budget.
yeah, and that's not something that we feel can be done within dreams. We've tried it.
Mm.
So, it just is what it is. But
But that
like you
doesn't
said,
mean to say, like, Dino isn't going anywhere. Like you said, we're moving into a different medium with it. It will eventually become what it's destined to be. It's a shame that we can't do it the way we originally envisioned it with Dreams. It would have been awesome if we could have pulled it off, but we have to be realistic with these things, and we're not comfortable with reducing the quality to try and pull it off in Dreams. It's not fair to Dino as a project, and it's not fair to those that are going to receive it and enjoy it, because we know people would enjoy it better if it was at its fullest potential, and we know we can get it to that potential. So yeah, it's a shame that it's not going to be fully done in Dreams, but
yeah,
it is coming, and it's going to be amazing when it does.
it's just the only way I think the only way we could possibly pull it off is, um, yeah, exactly, Ninja. He says sometimes you feel like you wasted something if you don't do it justice, and that's
Yeah.
just it. The compromises, like the script in its current form, which nobody has seen, in even Jammy. The
The
script,
redux of the redux of the redux.
yeah, the where it stands right now is it absolutely just like the only way this could ever possibly get done in dreams is if we actually were part of Media Molecule and
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 have
we
their
and
resources.
we had literally their resources
Yeah.
to pull it off.
Mm.
And it's like you said, it's sad because I would like that to be the case, but at the same time it just has to be something else now.
Mm.
Um,
But
but
it's been a great learning curve though, like attempting a project of this size in Dreams. Like it's been such an amazing experience to be able to understand how you manage a team, like how working with multiple people day in day out on something of this scale, and the responsibilities that everybody has, and what's expected of people, and how they want to create it, trying to get everybody in the same mindset of working on the same path is a very difficult thing to do. And neither of us has done that before. We're not game directors in profession, so it's been a real eye opener. And moving into Pitch Black, I'm using what I've learned with those experiences of, I've told a couple of my friends about Pitch Black. They've obviously seen the trailer now, and they've called me saying like, it looks great. Have you tried thinking about adding this or doing this, or oh, what are you going to put this in there? I'm like, nope, I've learnt my lesson. I've come up with a concept. I'm keeping it simple, otherwise it will never see the light of day. So I have my script, I have my mechanics, and that's it. I'm not
I
putting anything else into it.
I'm not gonna lie. I have to chuckle every time you speak of visuals. When you're like, they love the way it looks. I'm like, the black screen though. Like,
Green, yeah.
you
I mean,
say
it's
it.
crisp though. It's crisp.
Oh,
It is
that.
crisp.
Oh, it's OLED level
Mm,
blacks. I'm not gonna
mm.
lie. Like it's real good, but it just makes me chuckle every time. So, I guess unless people have questions
I
for
do.
you.
I've just had some questions come through on a DM, so I'm going to answer these for Alex Heatherton. He's asked, when you came up with the idea of Pitch Black, what was your process for working out the technical side of things to make it work? Did you record the audio first and then work the logic, or did you do the logic first? So I did the logic first because I knew that's where my difficulties would come. Like the audio side, like, creating audio that sounds realistic and 3D and having like an audioscape, I knew I could pull that off. That's not something that I was initially worried about. It was connecting all of the logic together for everything to work concisely. So the first thing that I attempted was the walking mechanics. So I just popped in a controller sensor, hooked up a wire to a sound. It was just like a random beep, and it worked. And then after that, I did it with the right foot, changed it to a different sound, and that worked. And then I designed the footsteps for it, and I knew that they needed to sound big and chunky so that you'd be able to, one, hear it properly, and two, be able to distinguish the difference between the left sound and the right sound. So a lot of work went into designing the audio to fit perfectly so that you can instantly recognize the two different sounds. And then once I got that down, it was just moving on, doing just like some short random script, and then figuring out how the doors work and the counters and things, and it just snowballed from there really. Um, and for his second question, he asks, how would you feel about doing a sequel that would expand upon the story and introduce visual elements similar to Daredevil's vision in the Daredevil movies? Uh, I'm just going to focus on trying to attempt to create the first game before I think about a sequel.
I'm going to try to stay away from Daredevil and its
Yeah.
first movie. No, I'm just no, I'm just playing because I swear to God that movie gets a bad rap. But then again, as always, I always talk about the director's cut as opposed to what.
Mm.
But yeah, so before we start talking about sequels.
Yeah.
What is when do you foresee yourself actually being done with the idea that you're working on now with Pitch Black 1,
What
the
with
Diesel
it,
edition?
as far as it being released?
Yes.
Hopefully this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I intend for it to definitely be released this year. I'm not setting any dates. I'm not setting any times. I've learnt that mistake with Deeno as well, setting a release date for 2022 when we had a ton of work to do. But I do envision it being out this year, and the reason I say that is because as I said, I've got sort of the logic template down. So a lot of work went into figuring out how the logic works, and because of the way the story is and it's linear, you're stuck on side a ship. There's only so much interaction you can do in the dark. A lot of that logic is now copy and paste. So if I need a walking section of going down a hallway, I've got the logic set for that. I can literally just copy it, paste it in, and change the audio depending on what type of situation the player is in. Same for
Yeah.
doors and cranks and things. All of that logic is figured out, so it's just placing it now in a select method. There's only one major mechanic left that I need to figure out, which is a choice system. But that seems to be working quite well. I've only got a few kinks to get out of it to make sure it works properly. So then, yeah, it's just all down to just designing the audio and getting all that in place. So it should be out this year.
Sinnock said there was a PSVR game called Blind that was pitch black unless you sent out a sonar pulse. I kind of remember that. I don't know why I
Yeah,
remember that. I definitely didn't play it. But
Yeah, my friend mentioned that to me as well, and it brought up. Yeah, I looked at it, and it is quite similar. Yeah, you send out a pulse, and like it does a sonar, and it sort of puts an outline of the room that you're in, so you can kind of see where you're going. So yeah, I mean, it is quite similar. I mean, nothing's unique these days. Everything's been done, but as far as Dreams is concerned, I don't think I've seen anything like this in Dreams. So.
and Entropy said Pitch Black best graphics in Dreams.
Boy,
uh,
I'm really struggling with that graphics, Firmo.
yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
gotta optimize. Gotta optimize.
And as far as Deeno Tap Giles said, so a film made outside of Dreams. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. It just it can't exist within it right now just because well, basically because of what Tap said. This is why games are better than community stuff. They aren't doing it as a hobby on the side. Now, we've seen people take dreams a lot more seriously than that, but at the same time, predominantly, yes, that's true. And like, if you can't put together a team of people that all co sign, like, this is what we do, like, you're just like, we are all on the same track, solitary vision. Like, if you can't get that within a team in dreams, that's a lot of that means more time you spend. And then if it's
Mm.
your time you spend and you're not good at certain aspects of it, then that immediately throws away
Yep.
the ability to pull off what you see, your vision. And like I said, that's something that I personally deal with a lot because like sculpting was the first thing that I was like, I got to get this down. If I don't get this down, I'll still love dreams, but my ability to participate in it is becomes a little less. Um, and so I don't know, like you know what I'm gonna spin this into my next question for you.
All right.
Let's talk dreams. Currently, where it stands, where you stand with it, having found a new vigor for Logic, and now that you're working on this solo project, Pitch Black, we'll just keep dropping it, Pitch Black. Um, you know, tell me where you stand with dreams as the tool that we've spoken of now for over a year and a half.
My stance with Dreams is the same as it's always been. It blows my mind every day with what people are able to create with it. The community is outstanding and unlike any gaming community I've been a part of before, and the possibilities with Dreams are completely endless. You just need to be patient with it or have the team or the resources to pull off what you want to pull off. Um, and
Sorry.
yeah.
I'm just looking at chat where Mick said, "I'm sad we'll never see how good Pitch Black actually is." And Tap said, "I hear it's going to be pretty good." I'm telling you, it's just so great. Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
um, yeah, it's just Dreams is just amazing that it exists. That we have this tool that can do everything that we've seen people can do with it, and it be available on a console just blows my mind daily. And Dreams Twitter is continuously blowing my mind daily. People are just posting stuff of what they're working on or things that's been released or new concepts of things and workarounds for different type of challenges people are having with the program. And I just think it's amazing and I love it to death. And yeah, I my opinion of that I don't think will ever change. I mean, even if Dreams, dies and they shut down the servers and they move on to the next thing, my opinion of Dreams will always be the same. It's an amazing tool. It's incredible and a miracle that it exists, and I'm so grateful that they created it and put the time in to do what they did to make Dreams possible.
I've said this multiple times um, while we've talked about dreams as a whole, of the wonder of what it could be in the future. but also, would you be happy if it just stayed exactly what it is right now?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yes. Okay. I fight with that a little bit because I think yes, dreams as what it is right now is amazing. It is a miracle. I go through I back up everything you just said. But I told
But
you, but I told you, there's that little bit of me. I'm not a businessman. That's just I don't because I don't care enough about money. But and I'm not really competitive at all. Like it's just not my being.
mm,
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. We'll see where it goes. Like that's just how I attack things. I don't like competitive nature. So, but I feel differently about dreams. Just a little.
okay.
Just a little. I
So
start to
go into that then. What is it
so
with dreams?
last episode we had a viewer who seemed to believe we were at a low point in many ways within the community. I'm not going to say who because they were just speaking with us and I don't think it's
Mm,
important who, but just that the sentiment is out there in someone's mind. But it really sat with me a bit and stewed with my own emotions. And as I took a sip of the analytical broth, the dark side started to creep in on me. Like, if I'm honest, but personally honest, not community honest, I I feel like I don't feel like the community is at a low point, but I do feel like I am.
okay.
And
Why?
and it's because of the competitive nature. It's that I don't normally have, but it's like I love Media Molecule so much that it's like birthing it in me. So
So
like
when when you
I'll break it down. I'll break it down.
okay,
Like
okay.
I told everyone about HBO versus Netflix like a while back now, and how 6 years ago the head of HBO said that we need to become Netflix before they can become us. Well, I talked about this in reference to Dreams as a software that is doing so much right now to revolutionize like how people, well, the landscape of creation engines. And I worried that other engines would start to become it before Dreams could become them. And
Hmm.
it's why I've been an avid proponent of like Dreams on PC, among other things, which is controversial. And you know, I I think we're seeing it now, where we have things like Substance Modeler or WOMP
Mm,
or the
mm,
implementations into Blender and Maya that are coming out now, all adopting these changes to the paradigm and seemingly focusing on things that uh, people have voiced that they want from Dreams. So, like in Substance Modeler's case, we have some of the minds that created Dreams are on that team. With WOMP, they're currently focused on sculpting, like in Dreams, but being able to 3D print
mm,
as the main point of
mm.
exportation. And what I mean by my low point is like now that all these different programs are adopting, and they're still not Dreams because they're still not a one stop shop
Mm.
for every piece of
Of the puzzle. Yeah.
of the puzzle. But other programs are definitely trying to become Dreams to be more accessible. And what I mean by my low point is that we all work best as you're proving with Pitch Black. You found a way to work it within Dreams using what you do best. I feel like I'm kind of at a low point because I don't feel like I can tell stories, which is the most important thing to me, at the quality I want within Dreams right now. And I know a lot of that is kind of, you know, everybody focuses a lot around gaming, given just the natural nature of Dreams. Uh, and I told y'all, I'm only here because movies, short films, stuff like that. But it's just really hard for me to find that way of telling it while not being disappointed at the fact that almost every single idea that I have, outside of just simple character design, I'm not able to put forward. And I would, and to go off of what people are saying, like, because a lot of people have said things since I started talking, and I know I'm being very verbose about this. It's just a lot of it comes down to like time, as I told you. Like, it's having the time to work on it, having the time to get better at certain things, but also the speed at which I can do it. And, you know, so I feel like I'm personally at a low point, but I've also set this like, well, when PSVR 2 comes, maybe I'll finally be able to work at a speed that makes me want to do things. But yeah, it's like, okay, so Tap said, I just wish Dreams could have its day, you know. Then other stuff popping up is all fine because people know where it all started and Dreams gets its props. That's exactly it. That's exactly where my feelings come from. It's just like, I feel like I do want to see it get its due. It's almost like it's making me competitive. It's making me have that competitive
Yeah.
nature of like, I want, you know, and as I said before, I do believe that a huge chunk of that, even if Dreams released as is now, I do feel like a huge chunk of that is PC based. And, you know, and this isn't putting anything on Media Molecule at all. They are a small company, as I constantly remind people. They're a small company. Like, they're working on everything as fast as they could possibly do it, and they have their own plan of what they're working on. But it does feel like my low point is separate from their, you know, from a business plan. But my low point is I haven't found that thing yet where it's like, you've seen what I can do. Like,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
outside of
Yeah.
the many others haven't, and I swear to God I'll change it. But you've seen what I can do, and the fact that I can't animate those characters to do exactly what I want them to do makes me want to scream.
Yeah.
And
And that's the
so,
thing, because I know you. Like, we've known each other for a while now. You're a perfectionist just like me. Like, unless it's done right, it will never see the light of day. So I completely understand why you're at a low point, and yeah, because I know what type of fidelity you're trying to pull off, and you just physically can't do it, and that's very disheartening when you have all of these ideas and the characters are there, everything's ready to go, but you just can't pull the trigger because you can't get it to that finite detail that you want. And I totally understand the frustration. That's the whole reason why I moved to Pitch Black, is because, it's in my field. I know sound. I can get rid of all the visuals completely. I don't have to worry about that, and I can focus on what I know and just learn the logic behind it that makes what I know work. And I think that for you, it's difficult to try and find that zone like what I found, because everything that you want to do revolves around animation, and there isn't any workaround for that other than just learning to get good at animation so that it looks the way you want it to look. So it's a much more difficult situation that you're in, because there is only one way to do it, and that's to really, really master animation in Dreams.
thank you. D Toletti? Is that your new
Oh, Letty!
is that your new moniker? I love it. Joe Ork. And so D Toletti. Oh, sorry, I don't know why that's so amusing to me, but it's amazing. But yeah, and Tap asked, is it just because you haven't learned how to animate? And it's like, I understand. I'm not proficient in it enough to do what I want, and doing it alone due to, as I've said before, I'm I if I had to compare myself to someone else's, like the vision of someone else, I'm the Kevin Costner of of vision. Like, you know, when that dude was making $300 million movies and people wanted it to fail because it's like, yo, that's just too big of a production. Like, now it's nothing. It's like every other movie, but like, or every other blockbuster. But that's the thing. It's like animation isn't my thing. Like, I know that, you know, a lot of people, when they hear this, you know, take it as someone being lazy, or or someone just not wanting to do the work. But at its base, it's simply, and hear me out. I'm passionate about storytelling and visuals, the art of storytelling. I have a lot of things I dabble in. I dabble in music. I dabble in singing, guitar. I dabble in cinematography, like, which is part of my love of filmmaking. And it's just, I have all these things, but when asked to do something that I'm not good at, my immediate response is get someone who is. But because of my scope, getting someone who is, when you're not able to pay them, is it's unfair. It
Yeah, it
is.
is.
Like, even
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
recognize it's unfair. Now, if I had a team of people that were like, yo, the whole plan is do this, make a studio, turn it into a production company, blah, 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 and we were all just all in day one, I wouldn't have a problem, because I'd be like, we're all working so that the, you know, the doing it for our livelihoods, you know, that comes later. Like, we're working now to prove we can do it. But asking someone to do that or to sign on to that is weird. So, like, while I enjoy in Dreams going through and being like, okay, well, I've thought of this character. I'm gonna make this character. I can make the character. Like, this, I can make the character. I can write you a 120-page script in 2 days. Like, I'm good at what I do, which is what. But I'm not in. I'm not inspired to do the other stuff. Like, I do need a team. Like, that's just it. It's because like I
Well, I mean,
said,
that's it.
I come from
You're
filmmaking. It's a
you're a
team thing.
director. Yeah, you're a director at Blood. You know, and of all
Director and writer,
things,
yes.
is like, you know, but like, but yeah, that's what you are. You write and you direct what you've written. Like that is what you do. And to try and animate is such a difficult task anyway. And to try and animate when you have no heart in animation, you're just destined to fail. Like, you've got to love the art form of animating to be able to be a good animator. Like, you just have to, in my opinion. You've got to have a passion for the art. You've got to have a passion for making small adjustments over a long period of time to make that fluidity and that smoothness. Like, you've got to love that attention to detail
You gotta
and
love
have
the tedium.
patience. Yeah, you've got, because it is. It's. I've tried it. You know, I tried it myself to do animation, and it's mind numbing. It really, really is. Unless you've got your heart set on it and you have a passion for it, it's one of the most boring things ever. Move that hand a tiny little inch, keyframe it. Move it a tiny little inch, keyframe it. Move it a tiny little inch, keyframe it. And you've got to do that over and over and over and over
You
again.
gotta
And so
love it.
you've got to love it. You really have to. Otherwise, it is literally like watching paint dry.
Yeah. Now, Duckonomics asked, Mighty Vicious, have you made any smaller projects? I've dabbled. I mean, if you go to my YouTube, it's you'll see that I've put together some things, and I think my favorite in execution has been the incremental lives, the fly
The fly.
animation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
but it's yeah, it's the reason I can. I'm probably going to trap myself in this statement, but that was done in a moment of, okay, let me make it as easy as I can on myself. Let me try to throw out all of the things that keep me from, making this big. And in execution, even for as short as it runs, it's it started to branch. Like
It
if I'm real,
always does.
but I had
It
to
always does.
it came from a challenge from a friend, and so I get it, but it is just a stance of you have to have the time, you have to have the love, and I would say just because, as I told you, coming from the filmmaker mindset, it is team based. No, I know when everybody gets caught up on the director or produced by or all this stuff, but it's everybody. And I don't know. So I want to go through some of this chat because people have been really talking through this. But let me see here. I left off with Duckonomics. Piece of craft. I recently did a 2-minute long animation free of charge, and yes, it's not worth it.
Bro, that's what I mean. Like, you're just thinking like a 2-minute animation. It's only 2 minutes long. He probably spent about 60 hours or more.
At least.
To make that 2-minute animation. And that's the thing. Like, so much time goes into making such a small amount of footage. You've got to love the art form. You really, really do. But yeah, doing that for free, a 2-minute animation for free, you're a braver man than I. I would definitely not put myself in that situation.
Yeah, I also I did a Dreams Flicks episode. Now, once again, that caught me at a moment where I was like, I have never done a community challenge. This one is like you can only use what's there, maybe make an asset to add to the group so everybody else can use it. Yeah, and there was quite a bit I learned during that process that did end up helping me with some other stuff, some other angles of dreams. But yeah. And Tap said, Mighty, do you think the same problem would happen for you in places other than dreams? If it was all by myself. Yes.
Well, of course it would. Animation is animation, regardless of the platform.
Yeah, it's not specific to dreams at all. But it is something within dreams that, because it's so great, it makes me want to work within dreams to do all of this stuff. But I do still run into the same problems. The only difference is I do feel like it would be easier to get a team
outside of dreams.
Oh,
of course it would. But again, you would suffer with the paying side of things. Like, you could get a team like that outside of dreams, but you'd need a big bank account to fund it.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. It's like that's why we've chosen to go the route with Deeno that we've chosen.
Yeah.
Because it's like, instead of me making compromises to everything that I want to do, I'm just going to, I feel like we're just going to shoot for basically taking it out of our hands in that sense. Like, we'll provide something and someone else will get to decide, exactly, putting together the team aspect of it or signing on for it. But yeah, it's just, those are the little things that have me down. As I told you, I'm at a low point. But it's not destroying my love of dreams. It's more so just me being at a low point.
And the whole what if.
Yeah. And so I think the possession recorder and action recorder gadgets in dreams are a response to the difficulty of animating, but they are very crude tools that don't allow for fine controls. It's a double-edged sword. It's very true. I've been experimenting with them a lot lately. A lot. If you still had no money for it, would it not have the same problem? I feel like it's not hard to get a team because it's in Dreams. It's hard to get a team because you can't fund it. Yes, I would agree with that, actually. But I feel. I'm not sure. There's a but in there, but I'm not sure how to say it. Um, Let me ask you a question. Let me ask everyone in chat a question. Um, what gamble or what would you choose if you, let's say you write a script, zero compromises, it's what you want. Of course, it'll probably be changed in production. Everything does. But let's say you do that and then you say pitched it to a company and the company was like, yeah, we'll put this on. This is what you do. Would you run that gamble? Or where it's not about you funding it anymore, or at least not entirely, and you have people signed on who are down for the vision? Or would you say, I'm just going to put out any version of this that I can put out?
Option A all the way.
See, for me, it's option A too.
Mm.
But when you choose option A and you get into these conversations, it does start to come off like I don't know, like it's like, oh, I'm not good at animation. Then someone comes back and goes, well, then why don't you get good at animation?
Yeah, but if yeah, but with option A, if you've got like a production company that's on board and funding it, you're going to have all of those resources at hand. That's the whole point.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where I am. So I guess to sum it all up, I'm still trying to find my place in Dreams.
It does sound like you're trying to find your place. I think you need to personally find a medium of film that you're comfortable with in Dreams that you can live with. Because let's just be completely honest, you're never going to get the fidelity that you want in Dreams. You're never going to get it because you need a team of 30 people, you need a big massive budget so that you can pay these people to put in the amount of hours that's needed to pull off the vision that you want. So that's going to be the same no matter where you go, whether it's Dreams or, anything else. So I think you need to find a style that you can be comfortable with. Like an animation style, a visual style, an art style. You need to find all of these things in combination. You can say, I'm happy with that type of art style. I'm happy with this style of animation. I'm happy with this type of character build. And then combine all that together into a small scale project that you can manage on your own because you found all of the elements that you're comfortable with. You are still in that searching for yourself place with Dreams.
Yeah. And it's like, so Duckonomics said, so work on something by myself or work on something with a production company. Can't there be a middle ground? We'll see. I mean, yeah, there's obviously going to be a middle ground, but can you live with the middle ground? That's the kicker.
That's the kicker.
That's why I started this all. That's why I started this all off with saying this isn't a criticism of Dreams.
It's a you problem.
It's a me problem. Like I'm in no way trying to say that Dreams has let me down or it's too difficult or anything like that. It's me coming to terms with where I am and how I'm going to interact with Dreams. And it's also come at another time in my life where it's super stressful in every other area of my life right now. So maybe I shouldn't be thinking about it to begin with during this time period. But of course, I'm going to think about everything. So so I do want people to realize I'm not in any way being like, this is a Dreams issue. I'm saying this is a me issue and refinding myself within Dreams.
You have this level of quality that you can't get away from. And until you get away from that, you're not going to be able to produce what you want in Dreams solo. It's as simple as that. So until you get over that hurdle, you're not going to be able to produce anything in dreams, because I know you as a person. I know how your attention to detail is. I know how you won't let these small little things go. I'm exactly the same. That's why I moved away from visuals. But for you, you have to have visuals. This is your house is film. So until you get over these hurdles, you're never going to be able to make anything in dreams that you're at least going to be accepted with. So it's more of a personal challenge with your own mindset, as opposed to anything in dreams at all. You've got to get over yourself and find a place where you can say it's not what I would normally do, but I'm happy with it. And until you can get in that mindset, you're not going to be able to do anything. And that's a challenge for you. It's
It
a
really
real
is.
challenge for you, because that's your whole identity, is perfection. Like that is you as a person. Like, the way that your scripts are written, the way that the camera angles are directed, the way that everything works as a scene. Like, it's just you, and you need to find a way of transcribing that into dreams in a way that you can just say, for dreams, it's good enough.
Yeah, and until then,
Well, just
I'll be blown away
keep
by
going.
all the amazing stuff that all of you in chat and all the things I see on Twitter, all the things I see in Reddit, and even a little on Facebook. I rarely go there. That's why I say that. Not talking about
Oh, I don't do
anybody.
Facebook at all anymore.
See people send me links to things, and they're
Is
like,
is the
check out this thing.
dreams is the dreams community still on Facebook? Like, are those pages still active?
Yeah.
They're still going. People still post on there and stuff.
So, So yeah, Tap Giles, he says, yeah, with writing, you start by writing trash. I never wrote trash, but and accepting it's going to be trash. Keep writing trash, and eventually it'll be less trash. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Where I left off before I took my break because of all the stuff I've been talking about in the past, as far as what I'm going through currently in my life. I've started dabbling in those things. Like, I'm on the path to doing all of these things that Jammy has brought up as a fix. I'm just not at the end of the path yet. So I'm in I'm in the struggle.
Well, you'll get there.
Struggle Cove. That's where I am. But I am working on it. So, I get why Mighty is holding his cards for the high bid, but a storyteller got to tell stories with his time on Earth. Yeah. And that only adds to the frustration. Because it is like, gotta get it out. Gotta get it out. Gotta get it out. How am I going to get it out? Like, it's part of the frustration. But like I said, I think it's okay to be perfect and precious as long as progress keeps moving along. That's kind of where I'm searching for now. Like, I've reached a halt in progress, and I now have to be okay. Like, I have to learn to be okay. And so yeah, I mean, like I said, with everything else in my life, this whole thing might not even be about dreams. It might just be about me. But it's just what it is. So but talking about it with you guys, where I'm getting the help. This is what makes the Dreams community great. And I can talk about this stuff with y'all. Y'all can be like, you're being an idiot, and be like, this is how you're being an idiot. This is what you need to do. I appreciate it all. I really do. I really do. I still, though, on that side, episode 86 Mighty's therapy session. But yeah, back to the other thing. Like, Tap was saying, like, he wants Dreams to have its day, and that's the thing. I do too. I really want it to, and like you said, it's the fact that everyone's borrowing, and of course, it happens. That's what happens. But the fact that, like, somebody else, and I know it doesn't matter, Dreams is going to be Dreams, Media Molecule is going to keep pushing forward with whatever, but I just really want someone to be like, yeah, we got that from them. Like, it's all said and done. I want somebody to, like he said, know, like, where these changes all came from. And yeah, I I just really want it. And speaking of that, yeah, we got Dreamscom coming.
Coming soon.
Duckonomics at Mighty Vicious. How is your love life? My love life is beautiful. If there's one solid thing that I would say I have in my life, it is probably my wife. So my wife keeps me on my toes and keeps me going. So I ain't trying to get all sappy out here, but and I'm gonna tell you, my wife is a little mad at the Dreamiverse.
Ooh, do tell.
So I've told y'all before, my wife sings operatic. And she wants to collab with people. And we've thrown it out there to a few people that seemed like they were going to be interested. But they never got back to her.
Ooh.
Spicy. Let me stop. She doesn't hold it against anybody, by the way. I'm making it spicy. But my wife really wants to work with someone in music. So if you're working on something, you're like, I want operatic, or I want a female voice, and I'm willing for things to get a little spicy. Hit me up, because she really wants to work on music. She's been learning violin as of late, but I'm not gonna lie to you, she took a little bit of a hit when she didn't get a message back. She sent out audio samples and all types of stuff. So, yeah, but we'll see. My wife was willing to come in.
We will find us something.
So, is there some of her voice out there as a sampler?
Can you play anything now? That'd be cool if you could play something now.
I can't right now because it's from a band. And
right, okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to do that, but I did. But anybody who's interested in hearing, I will post something in the Discord. So, but yeah, she just really wants to try to get into it and work with someone on something. So if anybody is feeling music-y and wants operatic, she was in Nightwish. She liked Nightwish when they were good.
Ooh, now that's spicy.
No, but yeah, so, but yeah, I'll get something over to y'all so y'all can hear. But I had to throw that in. Are you excited, Jammy?
For Dreamscom?
For Dreamscom.
I am. And as always, they've upped the ante. You can see that they have gone way out again. They could have used the same template and just tweaked it and made it a little better. But there's like, nope, that ain't good enough for our community. We're going to start from scratch and build a brand new expo and spend hundreds of hours perfecting it to make it the best thing that we can for our community. And I just absolutely love that they do this every year. Like, it's not expected. Like, if they would have took the same Dreamscom as last year and just tweaked it, I would have been fine with it. But like, guys, you are busy enough as it is. You know, just give us whatever you can. But nope, they went the extra yard and built this whole new expo and gave people listening booths and different shape booths this year. And yeah, I'm super excited. They bring the fire every year, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have up their sleeve.
I have not checked the magazine yet that has been released. I intend to. Yeah, I saw. Have
you saw the trailer for Dreamscom 22?
I did.
Yeah,
I
did.
did.
Okay, yeah. So you can see they've gone like a whole other direction with it again this year.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like the impies and stuff. Like there's no compromises with them. It's just like I just love how they want to just do the community right, and they just do a different thing every year. It's great. What are you laughing at now?
I'm laughing at Duckonomics. He said
What's
needs to start being more lazy with the events so they can work on multiplayer. That's friggin' yo, that's good. Dunkonomics and everybody. I've truly enjoyed having y'all here this week. This is hilarious. So I don't. No, I'm not going to go that route. No.
No?
No.
All right.
No. So we did our, predictions.
Mm.
Are there any new predictions?
No, I still think we're going to see something new. I still think we're going to see an original. I mean, Tren is got to be there. It has to be. It's been a year since we've really seen anything, so my prediction with seeing Tren is still on point. Definitely going to see a new original, I think. Yeah, I think prediction wise, everything that we said is pretty much what it's going to be. Hopefully.
All right.
You?
So,
Do
yeah.
you have any new predictions or?
I don't because I think I've seen what people have been posting about as far as what we're going to see there from the community, and it's looking fantastic. But I don't have anything really for them because as we went over last time, like I'm thinking of what MM could show us, not what the community could show us. So I don't know. It's kind of a thing, but I think they're going to give us something on Tren. I really do.
Of course they are. They have to.
Well, you said that they
Yeah,
wouldn't because it would overshadow the community.
No, they showed it at last year at Dreamscom.
Then what was last week? I'm not messing with you. You know what?
No,
I can see that you. I see that. I see that you got off school and started drinking immediately. So I'm not even gonna mess with you on that. So
Tren's gonna be there. A new original. I will die on that hill. I really do believe that we're gonna see a new IP and we're gonna see Tren. 100%.
Jamie was saying they wouldn't release it the same time, I think. Yeah. But if it's during Dreamscom, is that not the same time?
Well, not at the event. No, like they didn't show it in their presentation thing that they do for Dreamscom. I'm more sure that they show Tren before like their actual proper video event thing that they do.
Oh,
and that's what I.
Captain Semantic over. No, you did not.
That's what I said last time. Rewatch the video.
You gonna sit out here and tell a bald-faced lie, just like that to the people. You already told Mighty Vicious don't lie to the people. You gonna come out here and act like this?
I will find it and I will post it on Twitter. That's what I said last week.
Okay.
Was it last week? Was it last week that we did it? It was last week, wasn't it? I can't even remember anymore.
No, it was 2 weeks ago. Last week we had to call out because of life stuff.
Yeah.
Which again, I remind people the life stuff is still coming. The life stuff is still coming. There is going to be a time where I am going to be moving. And during that time, we may need to take some more time off, unfortunately. But I'm going to have to get set up. And, I got a lot of stuff to work on that way. Especially being that I'm going to have to move with half my body not working. But, it is what it is.
But don't worry. I will fill the void whilst the podcast is gone with Pitch Black streams. It's fine.
Which brings us to our last topic of the day. And after I say hi to Coinum, welcome.
Hi, Coinum.
Oh, good moving. We're getting a house, and in this house, though the room I had set aside for my studio is not going to work as well as I wanted to, but I will have my own studio. It is going to coincide with, for those of you who are in my Discord, you've seen the changes I've been making. We got a lot more shows coming. A lot. So outside of Dreams, Jammy and I are working on a new podcast. We got a lot coming, but I can't do it really until then because I can't get started until then, and I'm setting up some other stuff. But back to the last topic, which tell the people what your plan is. They just heard mine. What's your plan, and what are you going to be doing for streaming?
So obviously, as you just said, I'm going to be streaming Pitch Black development moving forward. I intend to develop the entire game on stream, like not work on it off stream at all. Um, I love the community, and I hope they come by and support me on that. And I think it would be really cool to have it recorded. To see the development progress. I think it'd be really awesome to have that track record of moving forward with development, having that on video and stuff. I think that'd be something that's really cool. I'm not the best streamer in the world, so it'll take some time to get used to it. I find it difficult working on stuff and engaging with a chat at the same time, so it'll take me a little while to get used to it. But yeah, so Pitch Black development streams. I'm going to be trying to do those every week if I can. Obviously, life dependent, and yeah, a couple more streams coming the way as well. Like you just said, we're working on this new podcast idea that we're trying to get off the ground. That's going to be something that I'm going to be working on, as well as some other streams of my own. I'm still working out my schedule and what it is I want to do, but yeah, I'll probably be streaming 3 or 4 times a week.
Duckonomics says that your plan is to take down Mighty Vicious and take over the
Ooh.
podcast. Is that what your plan is?
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
So-
No. We're a team. We always will be. We bros.
You hear
Gross.
that? Ebony and Ivory, a team. Black Thunder, White Lightning. So, as merch. If you saw that link tree that I put down, I have my own personal merch, and then I have merch that's done with me and Jammy through the Made in Dreams podcast. You can see that below the video in the About section. But also, we do want to talk about, we are planning on monetizing, not the Dreams podcast.
Yeah, no, that will never be.
Not the Dreams podcast, but both of us, I believe both of us have signed on to take $1 Patreon donations.
Yes, we have.
But not for the Made in Dreams podcast. We don't want that.
No.
We don't want that.
We make this content for the community because we love Dreams and we love the community. That will always remain free. We're never going to put a price tag on that.
Yaver, if it was Chocolate Thunder, then it would have to be Vanilla Lightning. It can't be Chocolate Thunder and White Lightning. That just makes it sound oddly racist. No, I'm just messing with you. But true. But yeah, so basically, like I said, I've been gearing up for a long time now with every possible thing. Part of it is what you see now as the change in my logo, which you're seeing on screen now. So there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot. And I just can't wait to get set up in my new place so that I can actually
Do it.
So that I have a place where I can be completely silent, where the power might not go out on me. Wouldn't
that be nice?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
well,
that be nice?
So isn't white flavored ice cream just plain vanilla? White flavored. That's the flavor, whiteness.
For context, it was by Ninja, and he said, I definitely heard someone say they wanted white flavored ice cream once.
White flavored ice cream.
What?
Isn't that ice? Like what? I'm having a hard time.
My mind is fuzzled by that white flavored ice cream.
Well, I think this counts as our final random topic, so I'm going to continue with this. Is Mighty Vicious turning into one of those hot sauce themed interview shows like Hot Ones? I would love to do Hot Ones. Yeah, I would love to do it. I really would. I can't
How
anymore
is your spice
because
level though? Like, how is your spice level though?
I have the last 3 sauces, including their version, in my house, and yeah, I can take them.
Oh, you'd be fine then.
Yeah, I'd be fine. The only one I'm worried about is the bomb because I've never tried it, and it feels like that one is just mean. Like, I feel like that one, it's not even about the heat. It's like it does something outside of the heat that they don't tell you about. Because I'm going to tell you, the first time I had a hot sauce that made me regret life was all the way back when I was, Jesus, 1999.
Wow.
1999, I had a hot sauce when I was at the mall, and I got a bit on the toothpick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally like barely a dab. Like the tip, the toothpick was barely colored by the sauce, and just at the very tip, I put that thing on my tongue, and man, I have never had something that hot ever since. Like I literally wanted to cry. I was drinking milk. I bought ice cream. I was at the water fountain.
Little bit.
Just that tiny tip of the
What
toothpick.
was in it? That's it? Like, what?
The devil. The devil is what was in it. Like, it was bad. I didn't know things could be that hot. Like, it really did kind of. Were you 4 years old when you had this hot? No, man, I'm old. You know this. I am
my age in 1999.
I'm 40. I'm 40 years old. Everybody, we're talking about back when I was like 18, 17, 18. I was my last year at high school. Yeah. 17. Yeah. He was 57. So,
bro, if that's true, I'm gonna need to know what cream you use. Like, seriously, what type of moisturizer are you on? Jesus Christ, if he was 57 back then.
So, yeah. But no, like, you know, like I said, if you're part of the other Discord that I have separate from the Made in Dreams podcast, you've seen the changes I'm starting to formulate. We got a lot of cool stuff coming, and we'll be able... 40, I thought you were younger. You look late 20s to me. Black don't crack, baby. Black don't crack. I love it. Anyway, so I'm telling you, once if I shave the beard off, it's just it really is. I definitely look so much younger. But my wife, if y'all remember, I shaved it off like 2 weeks ago. My wife was like, you put that back on your face. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I guess I ain't shaving for a minute. So y'all gonna get this from now on. She made the decree. So, but yeah, with God, I can't wait for these new shows. I really can't. We're gonna be talking about everything, film
and visually,
gaming,
like, as well. Like, production value is just gonna be great.
Black don't crack and White Lightning. Is that any better? No, I'll look the same in like 10 years, and Jammy will look like
an old man.
Yeah, like an old man. Especially with this rage problem he has. Y'all really haven't seen this man's rage. He takes 10 years. 10 years off his life every time he gets upset. And it can be the simplest thing.
Oh yeah, my fuse is so short. Like, so short. The smallest thing in life goes out of line, and that's it. You know, I just start flipping tables.
Yeah. So it's one day y'all might see it if something goes wrong during the production of Pitch Black. while he's
see it live.
Yeah, you'll see it live. That's gonna be fantastic. But yeah, like I said, for anybody that didn't see below, I guess, or where I posted the link tree, Mighty Vicious, you can get in the Discord where I'm setting everything up. We're talking about movies. I'm talking about when I do create a project for Dreams, I do want to stream it, like stream working on it and getting help from the community. We have the new podcast. There's going to be playing other games. I want to do co-op games with the community. which means it would have to be like co-op stuff. It's called the Hot Action Studs, is that series name. So we got the Hot Action Studs coming, and a bunch of other stuff. But we got a lot. But for now, Jammy, you got anything else you want to say before we leave the people for the week?
Just thank you for the reception on Pitch Black. I was kind of nervous of showing it at first. I thought, like, I'll just hold off and just make it. But I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to show it because I wanted to start streaming it. And with the type of game that it is, I had to show what it was. A trailer just wasn't going to cut it because there's no visuals. So I had to explain what the game was and show gameplay. And the reception's been amazing. Everybody loves the concept. People are really looking forward to it. I've had loads of different DMs and stuff about it. So just thank you so much for the reception. And yeah, I'm looking forward to streaming it with you all. So hope you all come by to watch the streams.
Bang, bang. So... Oh, Piece of Craft says, same, baby. I'm 27 and get carded everywhere, 21 and up. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, I got carded. And I didn't act out.
Don't you love it when you do, though?
I didn't act out. But, sometimes not being carded is like, it's both refreshing, but depending on what you're doing at the moment, you're like, really? Like you may not believe you look old, but you do feel like you look old enough. You've stared into your boring face for your whole life, so it's a compliment. But sometimes you're in a rush. You're like, man, I ain't got time. I do, but it's the reaction where it's just like I just aim my bald spot at people whenever they try to card me. I'm like, doesn't this look 40 years old? I'm just playing. I've never done it, but. Duckonomics said we should play Multiversus. I'm going to be playing a lot of stuff. Probably stuff that I don't even want to play. But but as long as I have the right people with me, it'll be fun. I think first episode is going to be playing League of Legends with Acert.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And the whole plan, and Acert and a few of my friends, and everybody, like our whole plan is to ruin his ranking. I could do it. Brilliant. I could tank it myself. I haven't played in 3 years. Well, 2.5 years basically. So just moving in League of Legends feels difficult to me at this point. But he's like in ranked. He's like platinum. But we're gonna take that away from him. Our goal is to make him gold. Nice. Gold. That's what I want.
Do you know what would be a very, very, very hilarious episode for people? Terrible for me, but hilarious for everyone else. Is when we get these new shows up and running, is if me and you play Returnal in co-op.
Ooh.
Can you imagine? I have it installed. I've got it installed on my PlayStation, and I just refuse to open it because I'm really intrigued by the story. I love the concept of it and everything, but I know what I'm getting myself into. And like that PlayStation is going to be chucked outside with the rage from playing this game. So
perfect episode. Perfect episode.
I'm going to keep it installed, and I'm going to save it for when we get these new episodes up and running, these new shows, and me and you will play Returnal Co-op now that they have that functionality in the game. That's going to be brilliant.
Piece of craft. Oh, this would be the thing though. It's like anyone that would be able to play like League with us, like you have to be NA because we have to all be on the same server. Unless you're pushing some god level, but I don't want to see anybody just, you have to be willing to lose as well. You have to be willing to lose. Like that's
to de-rank him.
Yeah. You have to be willing to lose because that's one of the things I love the most when playing like League of Legends. I hate when people get mad when they're not professionals being paid to play League of Legends. That's why if you ever want to find me on League of Legends, my name, summoner name, is It's Just a Game Bro. That's my name. There we go. I'll type it. There we go. It's Just a Game Bro. And yeah, if I might try to run some bot games to try to learn the controls again. So you might catch me on there to accept it. But yeah, it's going to be fun. We got a lot of good stuff. So
all right.
With that, we're going to go into the trailer one more time for Pitch Black. And afterwards, we will, probably pass it off to whoever else is streaming. And love you all. This has been amazing and fun.
See you all next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Hey. Hey, can you hear me? Oh, thank God. Okay, just try to stay calm. Just breathe, okay? Breathe. Okay. Calm down. Don't panic. You've been in a cryo chamber. Being awoken early has some side effects, including speech problems sometimes, but they'll pass, alright? You're on board the SC Arcadian. Your ship is way off course and somehow lost its main power 5 years ago. I need your help to get everything back online. Can you do that for me? Can you hear that? Something is up there. Hello, I'm James Wilson, also known as Jammy James, and you've just seen the first reveal trailer for my in-progress game, Pitch Black on Dreams. Pitch Black is an audio-sensory thriller that challenges the player to be without sight and let sound be their guide. After departing an alien-infested Earth in hopes of being able to resolve the infestation through research, you head to Veteran 7, a planet in the Talos system that takes a 10-year voyage through space to reach. And with all your other crewmates, you were put into cryosleep for the journey, but you were awakened early by an engineer on another ship remotely, as it seems your whole ship has lost power and is way off course from its destination. With your newfound friend as your guide, he will act as your eyes to guide you around a completely darkened ship to try and restore power by tracking your exoskeleton suit. As you make your way through the lightless spacecraft, the story begins to unfold, and you begin to ask yourself questions such as, who is this person guiding me? Can I trust them? And more importantly, what is that noise coming from the vents? Let's take a look at how Pitch Black works. The controls for Pitch Black are simple by design to make it easier to navigate without visuals. L2 is to move your left leg, and R2 is to move your right leg. To turn 90 degrees in either direction, you would use the respective directional buttons on the D-pad. Finally, for anything that requires interaction, whether that be pulling a lever or pushing a button, you would do so by pressing the X button. Now let's see these controls in-game to give you a sense of how Pitch Black works. This is an early section of the game where you're trying to restore power back to the ship by making your way to one of the conductor rooms on board. Let's begin walking and see how this unfolds. Right, you're almost there. Stop. Turn left and go through the door. Okay, you're going to have to be really careful going down these stairs. Just take your time, okay? The door straight ahead. Okay, you're in the maintenance deck in one piece. So far, so good. The blueprints for this sector shows 3 conductor rooms. We're heading for Conductor D first. There's a straight path leading to the engine room which holds Conductor D. Continue straight until you've gone through 2 doors. That woke me up. You okay? Don't worry, it must have been a wrench or something. We keep movable workbenches in these sectors to help move our tools around easily. Just be careful where you're going. At least we know you definitely have an on-journey engineer aboard the ship, or these workbenches wouldn't be out. I wonder where they are. Alright, you're at the door, but this one's going to be locked. Conductor rooms are locked out to standard crewmates, but in emergency circumstances like this one, there is a manual override. There'll be a metal wheel-like mechanism on the door. Turn it to the right to open the lock, and you should be able to get in. Okay, I don't have the exact spec for the room you're currently in to hand, so we're gonna have to wing it with the amount of steps you're going to take here. There should be a control panel on the left wall, so turn 90 degrees and just move forward until you hit the wall. But please be careful, the last thing we need is for you to unintentionally break stuff in this room. Okay, feel that wall for me. You should feel some buttons and wires and stuff. Can you feel it? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. The conductors we need to reboot are spherical metal objects that let atoms and superfluid run through them to power the ship. On each side of the conductors is a channel that needs to be opened so those atoms and superfluid can channel through all the conductors to the engine. There should be a winding shaft somewhere on that control panel that manually opens those chambers. Try and find it and crank it. Okay, that's it. You did it. 1 down, 4 to go. Can you hear that? That's the conductor channeling its power through to the engine. But don't get too excited. It's not enough to power anything yet. Not until we at least get another one on. But you should be very proud of how far you've managed to come. Head out of this room and let's move on to the next one. Turn right here. That's everything I have to show for today. I hope you've enjoyed this first look at my first solo project in Dreams. And if you like what you see, I'll be streaming development of Pitch Blank moving forward. Be sure to follow me on Twitter to be notified when these streams occur. Thanks for watching, and I hope to have you venturing into the darkness real soon.